Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and today I bring you a new phone from the guys at Unihertz. This is the TickTock-S, and this is a rugged phone, but not your typical rugged phone. This is known as the Goldeneye, with a built-in camping lamp that is absolutely out of this world bright. Oh my gosh, let's have a look. Back again with the top-down content, and thanks once again to the guys at Unihertz for sending out this TickTock-S. It is another in their lineup of rugged phones, and this one, of course, known as the Goldeneye because of that ridiculous camping light on the back. We'll get to that in a moment, and this phone is scheduled to be launched on March 15th. With a $30 discount at pre-order, which means this will be $269 upon launch. There's a lot of phone here, guys, all things considered. But starting with design, of course, this is the classic rugged phone look. You see the Unihertz stripe on the back. But the most obvious and, out there thing when you see this phone is going to be this giant Goldeneye here on the back. It pretty much dominates the back and the overall design of this phone. And a lot of people might think, is this some sort of a display? What is this when you first take this out of the box? But it turned out to be something that's actually a little bit more useful, I would say, overall. Now, we have seen the previous TickTock-S with the display on the back, but this one completely removes that display and instead includes this Goldeneye camping flashlight. Looking at the specs of this device, we have a 6.53-inch main display. We have that MediaTek Dimensity 700 with 5G, 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, 30-watt fast charging, a 5,200 milliampere battery, which, let's face it, it's a bit small considering this is a pretty thick and rugged phone. But we do have fingerprint unlock, face unlock, Android 12, and a 64 megapixel autofocus, 32 megapixel front cameras. There we see them. All in all, the design of this phone is pretty standard, but this is going to be the thing most people are going to be asking you about if you pick up this phone. In terms of display, 6.53 inch, it is an LCD, no AMOLED here, and no high refresh rate. But at the very least, guys, we do have full HD on this display, not 720p, so it will be definitely sharper. It's a standard LCD display you would see, but at least full HD on this rugged phone. And talking about performance, we have the MediaTek Dimensity 700. This is a 5G chipset, but it's pretty much the most entry-level 5G chipset you can get at this point, with Antutu scores that are pretty low for this day and age. The 700 is, I think, about the minimum 5G chipset you would want in a phone, but look, it still does the job pretty well, and given the clean nature of the stock Android 12 interface, I think you should have no problems using this phone on the daily. I think you'd have no problems using this as your secondary phone or for that camping trip. This should do the job. And the 64 megapixel camera, you can see the shutter is pretty slow overall. You're not going to be buying this, guys, for the camera. The results speak for themselves. There's a little bit of detail there, but I would say it is serviceable for the price. But let's face it, the only reason you would pick up this phone is for this, the Goldeneye camping flashlight included in the back. And I gotta say, this is a new interesting feature that I haven't seen on any other phone before. Yes, we've seen flashes on phones, we've seen extra bright flashes, but I've never seen one this big implemented on a phone at this price point. So what you do is you go into the toolbox, you have all your typical features that you see with these rugged phones from Unihertz, noise test, compass. But here you see at the bottom is where you'll find the camping flashlight feature. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lower the lights and I want to show you guys how bright this actually is. It is ridiculous. So here we are, the lights completely turned off in Frankie Tech Studios, and here we go into the camping lamp. Now you have a number of features. You have obviously the functionality, you have the modes, and you have explosion flash. But let's go ahead and start by just turning on this bad boy in 3, 2, 1. Look at that, and it says do not point at your eyes because you will go blind. But what I will do is I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to point this at me and see how that feels. Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's almost like it's daylight in this room. How bright this thing is. That is insane. But now let's try some of these other features. So you go medium brightness if you don't need it that bright, and you can go also low brightness. This is still pretty dang bright though. Now let's look at explosion flash. You can see almost like a strobe light. And then we have SOS, which can be a very useful feature as well if you were in an emergency and you needed to press that. All in all, guys, this thing is ridiculously bright. And as you can see, the extremely bright feature can only be used, guys, repeatedly within 10 minutes. But I guess you could still use the lower bright settings if you were camping. That is pretty insane, guys, and it's definitely one of the more unique features I've seen on any smartphone this year. So all in all, guys, I think this Unihertz TickTock-S Goldeneye edition, the rest of the phone is fairly forgettable, and if you've already picked up the TickTock-S with the display on the back and you like that feature, then this is really not a go-to for you. But if you've always complained about the flash on your phone or the flashlight and you want the absolute most powerful camping flashlight that I've ever seen on a phone, then maybe this TickTock-S Goldeneye is for you. So check links in the description, and thanks once again to Unihertz for sending this one out. But hit me up in the comments. What are your thoughts on this TickTock-S Goldeneye edition? It is a pretty crazy phone, I'm not gonna lie. Probably not for me, but I do have a few buddies who are really into camping that I think would love to have this as a secondary phone in their collection. But hit me up in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon for future updates. Stay tuned, folks, more great content coming up, including my full review of the Vivo V27 Pro. And this one has been a killer release and one of the more exciting mid-range phones I've seen in a while. Stay tuned. So that's it, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one. Calling all campers. Your phone is here. Oh yeah.